Hello, you are welcome to the advanced platform. This is the web development platform. So before we begin the training, we would like to take you through web development in short. So this is the structure for web development. So to be a front-end developer, you should know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So we'll take our time and take you through each of these programming languages. So the HTML and the CSS is the HTML that will give you the structure work of your work, and it is the CSS that will do the presentation. So you use the CSS to modify your HTML structure. So for instance, we have the calculator app here. So there's the calculator app. We use the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to build this calculator app. So this is the CSS. So it is the CSS that will display your work. So it's the CSS that will display these numbers, the course, the time, and the display bar. It is the CSS that will do that work. And these colors that you are seeing over there, and the boxes and the listing, the colors for the course and the time, it is the CSS that will do that work. So it is the CSS that you use to modify your HTML. So for instance, if I want to change the background color of this calculator, I'll just come to my CSS file. So this is the CSS file. So I'll just come here, then come to the calculator. So I'll come to the calculator. So this is the calculator, and this is the background color. So I'll just click on the background color, and I'll change the color to maybe yellow. So let me change it to yellow. So you could see the background color for the calculator has been changed to yellow. So it is the CSS that you use to modify your HTML format or your HTML work. So that's the work of the CSS. That's why here we have indicated that the CSS is for presentation. So right now we know what the HTML does and what the CSS also does, but we are moving on to JavaScript, and the work of the JavaScript is to allow your app to operate. So this calculator that we are build over here, if we want the calculator to function, it is the JavaScript that will do that work. So for your calculator to work, like if I click on 9 times 6, let me clear 9 times 6, and I click equal, it will give me 54. So it is a JavaScript that will make the calculator function. Without the JavaScript, you're able to build a calculator app, but it won't function. So for instance, let me come to my JavaScript app. So this is the JavaScript. So for instance, if I delete all these and I come to the calculator, okay, here is it. So when I click on the calculator, you can see the calculator is not functioning. So if I click on any number, the calculator won't work because the JavaScript has been deleted. So the work of the JavaScript over here is to allow your app that you are building to function. So it is the JavaScript that will let your website or the app that you are trying to build to operate. Without the JavaScript, your calculator won't function. So this is the road to build a calculator. So I'm going to show you the roadmap to web development. So that's the work of the JavaScript, but when you are building your calculator, you need to pay attention to certain basic things. You should pay attention to them. So these things, they are all important. So we have exclamation, we have quotation mark, we have zero, we have, and so for instance, if I delete this I want to delete something over here for you to see how the results will be like. So you can see there is 3 equal sign over here. So let me delete 2 and make it 1. So when I come to the calculator and I click on 3, 34, 5 times 4. When I click on equal, it will give me answer. But assuming if I delete this equal sign, if I delete all the 3 and I come here, you can see the calculator is what? Not functioning. So any symbol that you are seeing over here is important. You should pay attention to them. Make sure you pay attention to these small symbols. So this one too, we have a plus sign here. So assuming if I delete this plus sign and I come to the calculator, when I click, I want to click 34. So when I click on the 3 and click on the 4, you could see the moment I click on the 4, the 3 will just disappear and it will give me what? The 4. So here it is trying to tell me that this plus over here will enable you to type more than 2 numbers. Without that plus, it's only single number that you can only type here. So that's the work of the JavaScript. So these are the petty things that you should pay attention to, else you will find it difficult to learn the JavaScript. The JavaScript is not all that difficult word, but what makes it difficult is these small things. It is not difficult to understand, but these small things will punish you somewhere. So you should pay attention to that. You might think you have done everything correct, but because of these small things, if you forget to bring them, it will just punish you, and if care is not taken, you might be frustrated because you might think you have done everything all right, but your calculator is not functioning the way you want it to function. But because of these small symbols and these small things, you might treat them irrelevant. Meanwhile, they are the one doing the work. So make sure you pay attention to these things. So that's the road to build a calculator. So to arrive at here, you have to know the CSS and the HTML. For the JavaScript, we'll give you a note on that. It's very long, so make sure you go through the note. For the CSS and the HTML to also provide you notes on that, but please make sure you learn the JavaScript well, because it is the one that is quite difficult, and the CSS and the HTML are not programming language. So when you're able to learn JavaScript, it means you are maturing in web development, because it is one of the programming language that is quite difficult to learn. So if you're able to grab the concept behind JavaScript, you are good to go. So basically that's what the JavaScript does. So we are moving on to the other ones. So here we have the Node.js. So the Node.js here, they are telling us it is the brain. So the Node.js, what it does is it allows developers to run JavaScript on the server side, enable the creation of scalable and high performance server-side applications. So the Node.js handle multiple requests concurrently, making it due for real-time web developed applications. So the Node.js has a vast ecosystem of packages and modules managed by npm Node Package Manager. So that's what the Node.js does. So here it functions as the brain. So it enables the creation of scalable and high performance server-side application. So it's the one that will handle multiple requests concurrently and making it deal for real-time web applications. So we are moving on to the MySQL. So the MySQL, what it does here, they are saying it serves as the memory. So the reason why it serves as a memory is it allows developers to store, update, and retrieve data efficiently. So the MySQL support standard SQL for managing and querying data. So it is a popular open source relational database management system, and it is used for storing and managing structural data. And that's why it serves as memory. And the React, it serves as the personality. So what it does is it's the JavaScript library for building reusable UL components and managing state changes. So the React enables developers to break down complex URLs into smaller and reusable components. So the React is a visual DMO optimizes and it render and updates, improving performances. So that's the work of the React. So it serves as a personality by breaking down complex URLs into smaller and reusable components. And the Express.js, it serves as the nervous system, just as the nervous system of human. So what it does is it provides a robust routing system and support middleware function for tasks like authentication and caching. So the Express.js simplify handling HTTP requests and responses. So that's the work of the Express.js. And we have the RESTful API which serve as the communication. So what it does here is it enable client to interact with resources using standard HTTP method like post, put, get, and delete. So the RESTful API promotes stateless communication where each request contains all necessary information. These are the overview of web development. So this is the overview of web development. But to build a calculator app, you don't need these ones. You can only use the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, of which I did it here. So it is the JavaScript, CSS, and the HTML that I used to build this calculator. But if you want to create a responsive website, you need to learn these programming languages. It is the one that will do this job for you. But with these three, you can use it to build app like stopwatch, calendar app, weather app, calculator, and many more. So in this training, our emphasis will be on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We can use the CSS to teach you all these programming language. Even the JavaScript alone, it can even take more than 2 months to learn. But we just simplified it for you guys. That's why we have prepared a note on that. So we have a full lesson which is 12 hours for JavaScript alone. But that one will provide you the lesson for that, and also will send you the notes. So before you watch the video on JavaScript, please make sure you go through the notes and learn certain things to get the concept before you start watching the video. Else you will find it difficult to understand what is in the video. So the moment you go through the notes, it will give you a fair idea on what you learn in the video. So basically that's what you will learn in web development training. So please make sure you install your softwares and you get everything done. If you face any challenge, please feel free to ask. We are there to help you. So basically that's what we have for you tonight. Thank you. See you in our next video. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.